Hey folks, Kilt-Man's Tavern is now open for business, as are indeed many pubs in England. Today, the 12th of April, England's lockdown begins its sort of slow climb back to normality, the roadmap as they call it, to normal societal life, fun, frivolity and socialising. And then you watch as massive wave number 3 of COVID comes walloping in like a big tsunami. And then it'll all be our fault again, all be our fault. But the only pubs that are open, the only restaurants that are open, it's all stuff that can do things outside. Beer gardens, that sort of thing. So, on the one hand I'm going, yay, pubs! But on the other hand, round here I'm going, oh shit, there isn't many of them. Well, there's plenty of pubs, but most of them aren't opening until we get the full indoor bit as well. So even though some of them have got beer gardens, they're erring on the side of caution. But anyway, I do believe it's a day of celebration, so hey. My bar never closed. Kilt-Man's Tavern, open the business, sir. Cheers, y'all. Now, I was digging around in one of the vaults of Kilt Mansions, and as always I came across things which I hadn't seen for many a year. And I know I've done a video on this before, but I discovered a few little artefacts and thought, I haven't shown these. Let's have a little look at these. It's a little trip down memory lane. A trip down analog, VHS and Betamax days. Yes, we're going to plumb through some of the old relics from yesteryear. Videos in a box from CBS Fox. And all of that sort of stuff. Now, I have been through the entire advent of the video revolution, and all of a sudden being able to buy sell-thru movies, to be able to buy movies, to get your own copy of a film was a major thing, especially for people like me and many of you, when you grew up and you just wanted, you loved a film, you've been to flicks to watch it time and time again. You bought the soundtrack to it on vinyl. You're like, oh, I love this. You bought all the magazines and the posters for it, but you didn't have the film. Unless it was a big movie, in which case, like Star Wars, it had Super 8 versions and 16mm versions. But you were lucky to get a few of those. And but when video came out, you could rent them. Oh, that's all well and good. I've rented it, but I don't want to give it back. I want to keep it. Of course. Enterprising young people like myself would learn how to copy things. But that wasn't the thing. It was all well and good copying left, right and centre and boosting your collection. Just having a copy of the film was enough in many cases. But being a collector and an absolute die-hard obsessive of many movies, I wanted the real McCoy. I wanted my slice of the pie. There's my film in a box. I can put it on a shelf, I can look at the spine, I can take it out, I can read all the blurb on the back and all the splash jargon and taglines. And it was just like a work of art. People collect vinyl for their covers, for their gatefold sleeves, and they put them on the walls, and they are genuinely works of art. Of course they are. And I do this, I've got plenty of the same. But movies, video sleeves, just that little cassette. I know, archaic. They could rip up and crumple. They could degrade and rot. They could snap and they get snagged up on the heads of the video. Oh, God. Oh, bloody hell. But that was all part of the course. If you record the stuff, your tape might run out. Oh, I've already managed to fit a film on this. Well, this film's, it's 100 minutes. I might try and do the maths. Oh, and then all of a sudden, like, just before the final scene, it cuts out. You're like, oh no! So you've got to go through the whole process of copying it all over again. It was wrong, but it was so good and so exciting, and to live, on the edge. But forever carting around in a black bin bag 2 video recorders, and I remember being stopped as well by the busies. A couple of busies, for those of you outside of the UK, they're police. They're police, yes. And a big, massive wagon, like a riot van, pulled up, and they jumped out and stopped me and my mate, who were like, what, 13 years old at the time. What's in the bag, lads? And I ever the cocky, I went, it's a fridge, mate. Open the bag. It's a video recorder. Where's that come from? It's come from my house, which is there, which genuinely was. I was right by the McAneny household, the original McAneny house in Whalley Village. Whalley being the operative term. It's right there. And they were like, oh, all right, where are you going? I said, I'm going to my brother's house. Why have you got two video recorders? Well, one's for upstairs. They've got kids, and the kids watch stuff upstairs. We watch stuff downstairs. What are all these cables? Oh, I haven't got a clue how to wire it up to his TV and their TV in the room. So I just brought a load of cables. And you've got a few movies here. How old are the kids that are going to be watching stuff upstairs? You've got, what's this? Straw Dogs. The Last House on the Left. The Hills of Eyes. No, they've got their own stuff, but just their machine it's broke down, so we're bringing our couple of machines. Go on, lads. They knew exactly what we were doing. Good on you. The boys in blue didn't have a clue. No, they did. They did. But so what? There's bigger fish to fry than us. Anyway, cheers, y'all. So, I have shown you a few things in the past. I know I have. And I remember showing you these. Now, I'll quickly go through this again. Back in sort of 81, 82, when video was really coming out and everyone suddenly had a video recorder in their house, you, Joe Public, could not go and get a movie. You couldn't, I mean, you could rent it, but you couldn't buy it. But I wanted films. So when I'd be 11 years old and I came down on Christmas morning and there was a Betamax Sanyo VTC 5000 top loader. And I know I've been through this before, so I'll just gloss through this. And there was a couple of movies which had been bought. My mum, big Kilt Mama, God love her, big Kilt Mama, had, with my sister-in-law, had troweled? She was also a joiner and a builder. She was troweling her way around Merseyside, trying to find movies for this young man here. And I'd made a list, and she ended up going to like a video wholesaler. She went to every video library asking where can I get movies from, and they were like, oh, I'm just like, well, unless you're at a video library, you can't get them. If you're just public, you haven't got access to them. So, but in the end, she was given the address of a wholesaler in Liverpool. So they went over there, my mum and my sister-in-law, and they bought two movies costing £75 a piece. £75, and this is back in like 81, 82. I think 81 really. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money now. It's even bigger money back then. And they bought me scanners on Guild Home Video. Marvellous packaging there, marvellous. And the Exorcist, the Exterminator. I know, I have shown you these before. So these are the first two movies I ever got. And they were on my list. I was 11 years old, but I was already seeing X-rated movies at the flicks and had been for many years. So it wasn't a mega deal for me. Well, it was a big deal for me on Christmas morning because I discovered, oh, it's Betamax. The most ungrateful child in the history of ungrateful kids. I went, oh, it's Betamax, and threw it back down again. Beta, as I learned, is better. VHS, JVC swamped the market to destroy the competition, but Beta was by far the better format. But anyway, I embraced everything in the end. But yeah, so scanners and the Exterminator. That was fully uncut. That was cut. Of course, we've all got the uncut version of that now. Boy, what a difference that was. But it was still a mega nasty movie at the time. So I was made up. So anyway, let's put those in there. I then, of course, copied many movies. I would go on to buying many movies. I ended up buying up 1, 2, 3 video libraries, all local video libraries in the middle area, and bought literally thousands and thousands of cassettes as stock for me. They were just films for me to put on the shelves, yeah. And of course, over the years of DVD, Laserdisc, and all that sorts of Blu-ray, UHD, I've obviously got rid of a lot of old VHS and Betamax cassettes, but not all. I mean, when we first moved into this house, I had around about 5,000 cassettes I couldn't watch any of them. I had no player when we moved in here to the mansions. I had no player at all. I only had DVD at the time to be able to watch stuff. So, but I couldn't part with any of these. But gradually over the years, I've been loads. Some have gone to like charity shops and that, like. But nah, I mean, nah. But some of the classics, some of the ones which are great boxes, great covers, great sleeves, just great rare old releases, or the first release. Yeah, I still got them. So I began to buy things via my connections in the video library industry. I'd just say, look, you know, there's a film coming. I want to buy it. So I would buy it. I would buy it at dealer price, whatever those dealers were buying their stock in at. They just put an extra one down, and I'd obviously pay for that. And the first one that I ever got, and it's a great one as well. The first one I ever got with my own money, not like buying an ex-rental or anything like that, but buying a proper copy, brand new movie, just hitting the shelves that day, or rather the day before. That's when you got them all. Nightmare on Elm Street. There it is. Betamax. Look at that. I always loved that. That poster is amazing. By the way, there'll be a bit more on our friend Freddie in the next day or so. But anyway, awesome stuff. Great packaging, great box. Loved it. Loved the colour scheme. A lot of these you'll see are faded because, yeah, they're old now. But this one is great. There's the old cassette inside. And you can see, obviously, this is now rotted. Yeah, well, I'm never going to play it again. But what I wanted to show you was, somewhere in here is the actual receipt for buying this off my friend Jimmy, or Jim Chinnery, his name was. Jimmy Chinnery, Jim Chinnery, Jim Chinnery. Oh, I've used that joke a few times. Like, but he was a great bloke. Looked like a gypsy, big man. Heyday of, not Tom Cruise, Tom Jones, big man, curly hair he had, but he was Jim Chinnery. And there's my actual receipt for it. This is dated the 27th of March, 86. That's when that came out. Nightmare on Elm Street, unit price £45, with VAT, which was £6.75. That cost me £51.75 back in 86. Of course, now to buy a copy of that now, even on blue, that's going to be like, well, I don't know, £2-3, if that. I mean, you could probably buy the entire box set. Well, I've got the box set of all the Freddy movies for probably about a tenner. It just shows you, doesn't it? But I love that, and I'll never part with that. That's it. I just love the spine of it. Show the right way around. And what was it? TDK, performance guaranteed, hi-fi, and it was Betamax. Gorgeous. Now, again, ex-rental copies, and I got these. This is right at the start when my mum bought me those two, the exterminator scanners. It opened the floodgates for me, and my powers of persuasion to go and get stuff from video libraries, and sometimes get it for nothing. Just take it. We've used it a few times. Like, it might be knackered, just take it. It's not renting these days. And things like Halloween, The Island. And look at these battered old cardboard little, I don't know, there's probably a term for what that case, that sleeve is supposed to be. Like, I don't know, but it's a cardboard coverall. I don't know. Now, for media, home video, you've got Halloween. Look at it. Look at it. Silver label. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's an artifact. Yeah, to watch that now, it would look shit, because that would be in the old NTSC transfer, and with a very blue sort of aspect, which John Carpenter's early versions of this all look like, and it wouldn't be full widescreen either. But there you go. And just wonderful. I love these, and I've got a lot of these, but I've only brought a couple down. I've got the Warriors like this. I've got an elongated one, which is a longer version for Alien, which I think I may have shown you that one, which has a kind of bizarre plastic inlay card, which the cassette sits in. The Island, Peter Benchley's The Island, Michael Caine, a film that everyone seems to detest, but I have waxed lyrical about this. Extremely gruesome, a brilliant story, an adventure, a horror, a suspenser, an action movie. It's pure, gut-wrenching, uber violence with a race of pirates who survived into the modern day, and it's also, it posits itself as possibly one of the explanations of the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. Although how the fuck these guys took planes out of the sky is beyond me. But love that. And there you go. And that version was actually uncut as well. Uncut. The TV versions at the time were cut down, and subsequent video versions were cut down as well. Of course, now it's on blue and it's fully uncut. But hey. These are boxes that I loved. This is MGM UA. Now, look at these big, elaborate, silver chrome boxes. Look at the size of these. This is the year of Living Dangerously. Mel Gibson at his most dashing, and Sigourney Weaver, probably one of their most alluring. I've said before, and I don't find her a very attractive woman, but anyway, it's a romantic, political drama. But the thing is, look at these boxes, and you get a load of blurb, and even if you're short-sighted, you can read that. It's all nicely, telegraphed. And that lovely sort of silvery embossed thing, and speaking of embossing, you'd have these sort of lenticular things to say that this is a genuine copy. Let's have a look. And inside these, you often got a little card with the cast list on it. Hey, look at that. And the inside of the box would be sculpted with, or moulded with, the MGM UA logo. Beautiful. There's the cassette, Betamax again. Just beautiful, beautiful. And there are more of these. Brainstorm, a film I covered only recently. Brainstorm, and look at this big splash there. Stereo soundtrack, because that was a big thing as well. But all of a sudden you could get Dolby stereo soundtracks. So you hook it up to your hi-fi, and wow, you got stereo. Actually, a lot of these did sound really good. I remember the Bounty coming out. Oh God, did I bring that? I haven't put that one down. The Bounty. I think that was on Thorn EMI. When that came out, that had a glorious Dolby stereo soundtrack on it, and that was great. You hook that up and like, wow, Vangelis' score bouncing around your auditorium was fantastic. There you go. Now, if you look on here, they've stamped it with a video library, and this was Video Unlimited in Laird Street, Birkenhead. Phone number, fax number as well. And all the blurb on the back. Let's see if we've preserved the cast list. We have. I didn't know that. There's the cast list. And a lot more credits too. Very nice, very nice. The labels come off the cassette itself, but there you go. Another classic MGM UA one, Poltergeist. And I think we'll find it's a stereo soundtrack all over again. Beautiful. They're here. And they're on Betamax. But I love, again, you've got this hologram thing here, which you're probably not picking up too well, but that was lovely. And then, you'd have to worry about these. If you're really trying to, many of them, I would try to steam all the labels off. And then I kind of realised that maybe I like the labels on them. Maybe forward thinking, that would be a bit of nostalgia, a bit of history, some of these video libraries and some of the advertising blurb. So, and to this day, I get a lot of Blu-rays, UHDs, and if I get them from like a store and they put like a sticker on the outer sleeve, I tend to keep it there unless it's really crass. I tend to keep them there just because that's the version I bought, and that's my one. And it's got that little label there, 2 for the price of 1, and all that kind of shit. Or HMV like 5 for $14.99. Whatever, but I just like to have these little things there. But Poltergeist, great image there. One of many different poster images for it. And yeah, and all the blurb on the back. Let's see if I kept the card for this one. I didn't. God damn it. Maybe I never had it, I can't remember. As you can see there, the label has worn away. They're here. Awesome stuff. So, where are we going to go now? The days of trying to get films from abroad, films which you could not get in this country. Clockwork Orange, and this is a Dutch release of Clockwork Orange, because this film was never banned in the UK. Don't go, yes it was, it wasn't. Stanley Kubrick took it out of distribution because his film was getting the blame for copycat crimes. And he was like, no, art does not create violence. Violence mimics art, blah, 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 all that argument, you know. Or they were going to, if they were going to commit a crime, they'd do it anyway. They'd find any other way of doing it. But his film got vilified for creating street violence, street gangs, and Alex McDowell and the Droogs. So, anyway, there is my, is it Dutch? I think it's Dutch, this one. Yeah, it's Dutch. And, Netherlands Odentiteld. I gave that a German accent there. Well, the Dutch wouldn't like that, would they? But yeah, so there is a foreign release which I managed to get hold of. I've got many. A lot of films that never got released in this country initially. Things like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, the Full Uncut Reanimator, which I got both of them from Spain. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which, oh my god, why the hell was that denied any kind of release for ages? Day of the Dead, you know, oh, I got all these from all over the place, you know, and contacts. Cheers to you all. Some weird things here. Now, this is, who is this? Home video movie from Video Network, and this is a British-made, starring Americans, Vietnam War movie. Who remembers this pile of tripe? How Sleep the Brave. Now, I'd love to get hold of this again. I remember the soundtrack to this. Well, I say I remember it, I can hear it, and I know it's off something else. I know it's someone else's music that's been purloined for this. And it used to feature in commercials, it used to feature on TV shows, like Armchair Thriller, that kind of thing. And they got it for this, but I've been trying to find where that music is and get hold of it again. But they filmed it, I think they filmed it in Berkshire. Well, that's Berkshire for you in America. And it's a gory Vietnam action war movie. But, you know, these are the cheapo things. These are the things that you saw on the shelf. You hadn't heard of the movie. I was a massive movie aficionado, as I've always remained. So I always knew what was coming out. I always knew what was on the horizon. I always knew the older movies, the pedigree movies, the classics, the vintage, everything. Sci-fi, horror, fantasy, action, sword and sandal. I knew everything. But there were still films which I thought, what the hell is that? Never heard of that. And that'd be sat on the shelf, and you go, ooh, let's have a look at that. It's obviously it's still suffering from wounds suffered, but there you go. It's in there. Important. Please rewind tape. Oh shit, I didn't. But it's mine anyway. So, but How Sleep the Brave. Anyone remember that? And is there a version of that now? There's a price on this. No, there isn't. Sorry, if you're seeing these are the video library numbers. So you go in with the catalog. Yeah, have you got 4396? And they go, oh, Debbie Does Dallas. If you want to come in the back room, we've got the hard stuff back there. But okay, let's have a look at another great packaging here. Although this has faded a lot. RCA Columbia did these gorgeous red boxes, and there's the original release of Fright Night. Now I bought that brand new as well on the day of release. That's the Betamax copy. It's got its holograms and everything on it. It's Betamax. As you can see, it's faded. That's a great poster as well. Love that poster. Absolutely adore that poster. And I wonder, I've got the receipt in here. Let's see how much this one cost me. Right. Now this was the 23rd of October 1986. You can see this here. It cost, well, this was cheaper. Fright Night was £39.50 with £5.92 VAT. So it cost me £45.42. One copy of Fright Night from Robert Parkinson Organisation Limited. I have shown you in the past my copies of Lethal Weapon, because I bought 2 copies from Warner Brothers of Lethal Weapon when it first came out. And I bought 2 copies of Predator when it first came out as well, because they were my favourite films at the time, and I knew damn well I was going to wear the tape out, so I thought I'm going to buy 2. So yeah, you guessed it, getting both releases in duplicate cost me over £100 each time. Oh yeah, dedication. Warner Brothers, again, what's that Warner? No, it's RCA. Warner Brothers, Mad Max 2. I've shown you this one before, and I've got many, all the Dirty Harrys, many Westerns, Tom Horn and Long Riders, many Warner Brothers. And I used to love these as well. Now, as you can see there, that actually says display on it. So that's not even like, that's from the shelf. That's just like, that's not the actual cassette cover itself, although it's identical. It's just been stamped with, for display purposes, not for sale or rental. Actually, it just says not for rental, actually. But this is one of those things that tells you the entire plot on the back of it. It gives the ending away as well. But they were lovely boxes. Only one man can make a difference. Mad Max 2, one of the awesomes. Never part with that. Oh, here is Lethal Weapon. One of the copies of Lethal Weapon. Have I got the receipt for that? Don't know. Let's have a look. Oh, it's probably the other one. But there you go. Yeah. The labels got very tacky later on in the 80s. It just became very standardised, and just the logo, Warner Brothers, and just a very, loosely printed out title. No kind of elaborate illustration, but many of them did have illustrations. So there's the original Lethal Weapon in the UK. Betamax copy. Great. Love that box. God, I at least, God, when these turned up, oh my God, was I elated. I showed you this only recently because I was discussing Darkman, and these are CIC video from much later on. I mean, this would be the 90s now, but we're going to go, this is just, I've not put them in any order really. Darkman. Now, CIC did some great full colour, vivid, beautiful boxes. Beautifully, the text is great in the different colours, the title is brilliant, the imagery is well thought out, the cover art is incredible, the depiction of the cinema poster art. The likes of this, Tremors, and I think, is this one as well? Oh, that's entertainment in video, so no, I'll come on to that in a minute. No, I'll do it now, it's very similar. But Lost in Time from EMI, entertainment in video. Hey, pubs are open now, so if I'm getting confused, you'll know why. But so there you go. I mean, these are bigger boxes again, and these are the days of sell-thru. These are like the late 80s and into the 90s now, where you could go to shops and you could buy videos, you could buy them yourself in Woolies or Walmart or Asda or HMV, wherever. You go to a video library and they would have some retail copies or some ex-rentals, but the retail copies were always much bigger, more elaborate boxes, and they're gorgeous, they're works of art, those. Beautifully vivid artwork. Lost in Time's not a good movie, folks. It's not. The sequel to Waxwork, and Waxwork, having watched it recently after loving it when I was a teen, I think it's shit now, but there you go. And I've got Waxwork in a big box like this as well. But there you go. So anyway, good, great cover art, great thought gone into packaging, and they feel substantial. Because this day and age, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to cram up space on their shelves. They just want downloads. They want to just have stuff locked in some kind of digital cloud-like device. And I have gazillions as well like that. So, I'm not saying, oh, well, that is not the way forward. Stick with these. I do adore physical media. I adore something which is manipulable, something tactile, something that's just real. Same with like visual effects. I want to see practical effects on camera, which people react to on camera, because it's there in front of them. A transformation, a throat slitting, a head coming off. It's prosthetic, it's real, it's happening. And they go, rather than them acting to a couple of golf balls or ping pong balls on a stick, saying, look there, and then go, and I say, and then to put it in afterwards. it's infinitely better to have something in my world, in my universe, because I don't have a world, I have an entire universe. I think much bigger than that, you know. I like to have the actual artifact. To me, they are a piece of history. They are. I collect weaponry, military memorabilia, and I love things which have been dug up, have been used. I wear tunics from the Zulu Wars. I've worn American Civil War tunics. I have American Indian Wars artifacts and Zulu Wars artifacts. And I do cherish them. But I have the same fascination for this sort of thing as well, because they're a piece of history, especially if you grew up during this time. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, movie fans from today who just stream stuff and download stuff don't have a love of the old style, because I wasn't around during Custer's Last Stand or the Battle of Isandlwana or Rorke's Drift, but I've still got stuff from that period. I've still got stuff from those events. So, you know, someone who's a film aficionado, an obsessive, even many generations after me, is still going to think, well, you know, a box of Halloween, oh, look at that, that's when it first got released, wow. It still means something. These are tangible. You can hold them, you can look at them. They're not just like a click. You know, these things do mean a lot. CIC again, in a lovely box as well. Funhouse. Toby Hooper. This is a great movie. I keep threatening to cover this, and I will. I will. Gunther, the Mutant. Oh, dear God. The film's not as gory as you expect it to be, but it is atmospheric, and it's a great exercise in sort of the haunted house, the ghost ride, and a great pastiche of the stalker slash movies prevalent at the time when this was made, but it takes a different slant on it, which I do adore. And that's a great box as well. Lovely, lovely artwork. Very colourful and very, you know, in your face and bold. That's a bit of a bizarre image because you don't see that in the movie at all. But, you know, hey, have I got the label in there? Don't know. I mean the receipt. But there's the actual cassette itself. Once again, important. Rewind it. Don't be a bastard. What else have we got? See, you got things like this where, again, there is obviously the carded cover for Prophecy, 1979's Prophecy. A film I love, even though it's complete crass shite, but I still love it. And I still await the proper big Blu-ray release of this. But you can see what they've done there. They've just put the card inside a great big video box. Because always on the shelves, you've got like, you'd be going with all these odd shapes. That great big mutant bear thing in its embryo sac. Sorry, if you see me pause like that, it's when the file is changing over and I'm waiting for it to click over and I'm going like, I'm trying to time it right. But there you go, that's the original cassette as well. You can see in there, oh my god, oh, that's not Roth, that's a label on the cassette itself. But Prophecy, there you go. Talia Shire, Robert Foxware. What else have we got here? Well, you've seen that recently because I just reviewed that movie, mega time. So there is the original release in the UK on Warner from 81, 82. This would be that release. So anyway, brilliant. Medusa home video. The Aussie, or no, I think it's New Zealand. It's a Kiwi one, this, isn't it? I'm sure it's Kiwi. Death Warmed Up. Oh my god, I remember them touting this as being, an extremely gory movie. It was cut down in the UK. It was disappointing as fuck. I just couldn't believe the hype around this movie. I've since seen the uncut version, and that was not worth talking about either. But it was a nice lurid cover. Part of me's thinking that it's double-sided. The labels come off. Sadly, you see that labels come off. It's the official cassette though, you can see all that. But I've just noticed, I just remembered that it's actually a double-sided sleeve. So let's get on this. there were zombies and shit in this, but that there is I think that was the original artwork, I think. And that's quite lurid, isn't it? It's very sort of Reanimator sort of look to it. But there you go, and that was the revamped version. That's really crap. Why did I stick with that? Oh, I've just noticed it says sample on it as well. Sample. So I've obviously bought that off the. That's probably why I got it so cheap. But anyway, so it's a sample one there. But yeah, that sleeve is infinitely better, more comic book and lurid. So I'll have to swap that round. What else have we got? What else have we got? Palace Video did exceptional work. Frank Henelot's basket case. Great big boxes. Lurid beyond belief. Great. Loads of blare. Look at... Let's get that right. Look at that basket case dripping with blood. Yay. You had a hologram on it. Great cover art. Great poster art. Palace Video had it embossed on the inside. There's the cassette there. Frank Henelot's follow-up to that. Brain Damage. And you can see, did that have certificate X on it? Somewhere. It probably did. No, basket case has got 18 on it. Don't forget, a lot of these hit the transition of 18 certificates and 15 certificates from AA to and X's to 15s and 18s. So a lot you may have seen had X's on them before. Forgot to mention that, but that's always a nice little touch of history there. Brain Damage. That is Henelot's fabulously OTT Gories follow-on on a similar theme. Again, loads of things to read on the back. Great imagery. Yes, it has faded. I know. And there it is. Oh, that one's not embossed on the inside, but you've still got... That's VHS. That's a VHS cassette there. So, I had both. But by far, the best of Palace is this one. Look at this. It's the Evil Dead, folks. Look at that. This is possibly my favourite video sleeve of all time. I mean, this does sit on the wall usually. It's been around the house in different places, and it's battered, it's worn, it's faded, I know. But look at it. Tons and tons of blare. Most of that is not cast, that's all quotes. And a load of writing about it, and the famous quotes of all time. The most ferociously original horror film of the year. From Stephen King. Way back when Stephen King's quotations actually meant something. He also gave, birth almost to Clive Barker. I have seen the future of horror, and its name is Clive Barker. It just sold. It just sold completely. And one of the famous taglines for it, which came from City Limits, it says here, you can see it there, the ultimate experience in grueling terror, pure horror. I mean, that would actually be on, after they heard that, after the festival showings, they put that onto the credits as well. So it actually says, Evil Dead, the ultimate experience in grueling terror. But I love that. It plays huge emphasis on the cassette reel-to-reel player. Skulls on the centre of the tape. It's your sister Cheryl. Nice bit of abstract green ghoulish artwork there, and loads of blurb. And Palace celebrated this movie. Palace, the main guy from Palace, went to court over this. Yeah, he got in trouble big time over Evil Dead. And that version, as I've said many times before, was actually cut. That initially, Evil Dead only played uncut at the London Film Festival. It was then cut down for distribution around the UK. And when I finally, well, very shortly afterwards, got a full uncut copy, courtesy of Britain's most acclaimed horror writer, Ramsey Campbell, who lives over there. I mean, if I really took a big swig of this and a big snotty grolly, I could probably spit to his back window. I kid you not. Ramsey, don't worry, I won't do it again after what happened last time. But he got me a copy, the full uncut copy, the American version, the unrated version of Evil Dead. And I've said before, the impact was diminished because the extended gore to almost every sequence took down the immediate, wow, visceral effect It just went on too far. Of course, now I would never watch a cut version of it, but the impact of that initial release, because it was cut down several times since. Of course, it was banned as well for a while. But The Evil Dead, that initial release in the UK, the one that I got to see with that sleeve on it, wow, and I still adore it. And the experience of watching that again and again and again and again, oh, it's never going to leave me. But uncut versions, obviously better. But there you go. What else have we got? The infamous The Living Dead. That is actually The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. I've talked about this film a lot. This one was banned under any of its titles. I was present in 2 video libraries when this, particularly by PC Plod, the Bill, the Rozzers, came in to take this off the shelves and say, you can't have that. This is banned. You know, it's now on the prescribed list, and took it off the shelves unceremoniously. This was number 610, and I don't know who got this off, but it's the original copy as well. VIP. There you go. The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, and that was fully uncut. That's the full uncut version. Of course, you can get it on blue now, and it's awesome. What else can I show you? Turkey Shoot, Guild Home Video had great boxes too. Look at that. Again, you've got holograms, lovely artwork on it. Sadly, this was cut down. This is a cut down version. The video itself wasn't cut. It was just the British release cinema print was put onto this, which was cut by a few minutes. But a lot of the gore effect was still in there. It was just the torture aspect was just taken out. But a great schlocky, complete, absolutely, it's tripe, but it's great tripe. And you got one of these little, look at this, the label on it, you know, the seal on the side, so you knew, oh, the seal hasn't been broken. And there you go, embossed on the inside, Guild Home Video, a nice, well, a gilded label, gold, Turkey Shoot, or Blood Camp Thatcher. If you're in Australia, where the film was made, Blood Camp Thatcher, it's called. Awesome. Extreme Prejudice. Who's done this one? Who did that? Who did this? Oh, it's Guild again. Oh, I had Dill. It's Guild again. I bet I've got the it's Betamax. I wonder if I've got the receipt in here, because this came. I can't get it. Can I get it back in? No, not got the receipt. But good artwork, good colourful stuff, vivid, in your face. New World Video. This was the guy that played Hunter on TV. He was Clint Eastwood's stunt double, and he got his big break in movies with this. He was a Marine going after he was a gunnery sergeant going after his commanding officer who gets kidnapped by an Islamic terrorist group in Beirut, and he does a one-man mission with the Mossad to go and get him back. It's shit. It is shit. But I was undergoing US Marine indoctrination at the time. I'd had my medical. Yes, I've said before, I know, I'm ex-Royal Marines because I went for the American Marines when I was young and stupid, and I passed every test and was about to go out there, and then at the last minute I pulled out and in the end worked for our government. Big fool am I. Although I did meet my wife that way, so hey, you know, it's the yin and yang. I'll let you decide which was the yin and which was the yang. But I did repay my debt, and I recruited and joined the Royal Marines and became a commando. So, but that was one of the films that I was like, oh, when I got to Beirut, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? But there you go. Nice colourful box, lots of imagery there, but the film is shit. What is it? In a world of compromise, he wouldn't. We're about to run out of time. I think pretty much we've done it. It is one which I've never seen since I first got hold of this. Slayground, it's called. Peter Coyote from Southern Comfort and E.T. stars in this. Big American star. Billy Whitelaw from The Omen stars in it. And the late great Mel Smith, British comedian. is in this. It's a gangster movie, and it's set in Blackpool. That's Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Look at this. What is it now? Welcome to Your Funeral. Directed by Terry Bedford. I remember it being a right royal disappointment. It's called Sleigh Ground. Good, great packaging. This is Thorny EMI, isn't it? Hologram on it there. Lots of imagery. I love that the helter-skelter, herky-jerky, you know, a style of the imagery on it. Loads of writing again, which you loved when you were a kid, to read all its blurb, take it out from the shelf and have a little read through it, then put it back. Yeah, read's great, but it's shit though. And it's the original copy again. And there you go. Folks, there's many more to show you, and I will at some point, but for now, we're going to have to call it a day. So folks, the bar's still open if you want to come round. I'm going to see you all later in black and white picture search.